You are not going to guess in a million years what I've just found. I found a dragon! Good morning, good morning, good morning. Even though it's not morning for you, it's morning for me. And look how glorious it is. I think I always say that when I come to the beach, but like, come on, the beach is always glorious compared to, you know, everywhere else in the world. So, today's video is kind of a sandy shore rockpooling vlog, but it's kind of snippets from today, which I don't know what we're going to find, due to the fact that that is in the immediate future. But I've also been on a few walks, and I went to try and do a vlog yesterday, but didn't really come up with too much, and it was really windy. The audio didn't work. So today's trip, I'm going to talk you kind of through what I found so far, and there are some cool, well, I think anyway, some pretty exciting stuff. What I explored yesterday was kind of that a whole bit of sand. And what we're going to explore today is this whole bit of sand. Nice and simple, and I'll include some cool snippets, but at least I know I'm making this vlog now that there's going to be some cool creatures coming up because I've already found them, so. Start off with what I explored yesterday. Yesterday I headed to two tiny rock piles, which is where we usually head, and this is what I found. No matter the time of year, you can always rely on the common shore crabs being around. They are a rockpooling staple, whether in rock pools, sandy shore, no matter where you are on the beach. You can always find a common shore crab, and that's just why I love them so much. This one surprised me. He didn't have any front claws, and I'm surprised because he's still alive and he seemed pretty good. So maybe he's doing just fine without his front claws. He's probably lost these in a fight, probably with another common shore crab, and potentially he's just, you know, got injured in that fight, didn't fare too well, and has just been left clawless. But best of luck to this poor fella. And I did spot this, not on those pile of rocks, but further up the beach later on. This is the invasive Japanese crab. I will link to that above, and I've got far more information in this video here if you want to find out more about that. Now these are erect bryozoans, and these are actually animals. There was an erect bryozoan, which are really cool, and I've got a video about that, so go check out this video, because when you look at them really closely, on the tiny little, you know, they're called zooids, which are like each individual animal that make up the colony, which is the whole erect bryozoan. There's little things on there that look exactly like birds' heads, which makes absolutely no sense. Well, it does kind of make sense, but it's really bizarre, and I've got videos of that, so check out that video. But it's really cool to see. What I'm more impressed with is that I always use my Olympus camera, and it's got a microscope setting on it, which I use literally all the time. I very rarely use any other setting, and it was pretty decent. Like, I could see some of the features of the little zooids, like maybe not enough to call a complete ID, I could probably guess, but like, you know, having to ID them properly, you need a really good, decent microscope, and the fact that this camera is holding up to that, well, not really holding up, but like, it's closer than I thought it would be. That was really cool. It's really impressive. I'm so impressed with this camera. It's just the best. Then I happened across another creature we have already covered in another video, and this is the tube of an ice cream cone worm, which is a great name, and just seeing it again is equally impressive. This 1 grain thick sand cone that it makes is just amazing. And I wanted to talk about this species because this is Porphyra. It is larva, or which is what lava bread is made out of. And I just really like holding it. It's this weird, thin, almost plasticky kind of texture, and it's only a few to 1 cell layer thick, I think. And you can see right through it, and it's just a really kind of bizarre seaweed to hold. So if you ever see it, just give it a feel, and you'll see what I mean. And then I happened across this teeny weeny baby anemone, which I just thought I should include because, well, who wouldn't include a tiny weeny baby anemone? I don't know. Now, from going rock pooling these last 4 days, and in fact the fact that I've been going like, I think it's like 4 times I've been out, it says something about what you're going to find the difference between summer and winter. So, what do we notice about the giant sand plain that we have here? It is pretty flat and it's sand. So unlike the rocky shore, everything is able to move and nothing is really protected. There's no nooks and crannies, and you can see like right here that like if there is a rock, there's always stuff around it and things trying to kind of like nestle up just behind a rock or on a rock, and then where there is no protection there's less stuff. So it is different, and in winter there are storms, and the reason you find less on intertidal areas in winter is that anything that can move sometimes just takes the option to go out to sea, because although there's bigger fish that could eat it, it's going to be less harsh than sticking it out in the freezing cold where it can be windy, where storms are going to bash this area, especially during winter. And the other thing is, because sandy shores change all the time, you get different conditions all the time, which means it's either good or bad for filming. And I unfortunately found the other day that there's this really fine layer of silt and mud, like really fine, that just covers everything. And so it's really difficult to get video footage underwater, whereas usually I can get that, I can video stuff underwater. So what we've been mainly looking for is for species that decide to just chill in or on top of the sand. And I didn't actually have too much luck yesterday in that section, but we find today. There is so much of this around. I've spoken about this before because every time it amazes me. But this is not a plant, this is an animal. It is a colonial hydroid. Absolutely bonkers that this is a living thing. But I'll link to other videos where I've discussed it. I just gotta show you again, just like animal. Okay, so this is cool. This isn't a plant, I said this already in a video about something else because it's the same thing. This is actually a bryozoan, and I think it's called Flustrophalacia because, well, or something along those lines. That's what I remember it as. Using my camera's microscope setting and zooming in on this, you can see it's not a plant because each of these teeny weeny kind of weird, almost curvy boxes are actually a zooid, which makes up an entire animal. So each little box is an entire animal and they form together to form a colony. And the little dots that you can see on them are little kind of antennae that stick up from the bryozoan, that and looking at the position where it is actually how you ID bryozoans. And it's really cool that the camera could pick that up, and so that's what it looks up nice and close. And this is a really, really cool, odd ID feature, even though it's, you know, you can kind of tell it's what it is, not too much else that looks like it. But if you rip it and squidge it between your fingers a bit, and then smell it, it smells like lemon. I don't know why, but if you ever feel the desire to smell lemon, not from a lemon, I've just shown you the answer. I just thought that was a really cool fact. That's like a slipway for boats and things. So this, I don't know if it disappears in winter or why it's not here, but like this is like the buoys, the marker mooring for the buoys that are like, you have to go straight out first before you're allowed to turn so that you're not coming in too shallow on the boat. But as a biofouling researcher and just lover of all things biofouling, it's always cool to check out, see if there's anything growing on them. Just spotted a fish just in time for the footprints I took to get close enough to spot a fish has disappeared. But they're the same fish as this, which I found the other day further up, so I'll just put that footage in. Yay! You always see bird footprints around the rocks and moorings and anything hard on these shores because they know that it provides the little bit of shelter that the only little bit of shelter that a lot of the fish like to hang out in. So they always see these little footprints. They're always there first thing, having a little patrol, seeing if they can get any food. I'm intrigued by this section. It seems to be, this is all sandy, but here, this seems to be some sort of pebbly reef. Well, we will see what it is when we get there. It's a little oystery kind of rocky reef thing. I never knew this was here. This doesn't normally get exposed. Actually, it's pretty close to the tide, so we won't have long here. But this is cool. Okay, let's roll up our sleeves and see what we can find. You are not going to guess in a million years what I've just found. I'm not surprised that I have found it. But in a million years, you're not gonna have guessed. If I said to you right now, well, go on, head to the comments and comment what you think I'm gonna pick up right now. It's not living. Very much not living. It's not a thing that has died. It is a piece of history for this area and something you probably wouldn't ever expect to find, let alone on a beach. This, even though it is multicoloured and doesn't look like it, is a bullet from a proper gun. Yep. Okay, so you're going to think I'm a horrid person for doing this, and I'm not doing this as like a cliffhangery thing. I'm just doing this for the practicalness of the video. So the tide is coming in, but there are oyster reefs literally just up here, and I would love to be able to get there and to show you some stuff. I've already got some footage from the other day to chuck in that section, but I want to see what else we can find. I'm going to explain the bullet. I will explain the bullet after we've hit the oyster reef because I can sit on the beach and explain the bullet. I don't need to wait and explain it on the tide. So I'm sorry. I know that sounds really cliffhangery. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it soon. But as intriguing as this, bullet is, I'm also here to try and see if we can find some winter marine life, which is, few and far between. But I will put this in, and I'm going to put this in now. Well, I hope it fits in now. The other day I was walking along here, literally just along this section, and it was really close to shore, in a little bit of sand. I found a dragon. A dragon. dragon. Found a dragon. I found a dragon. Okay, I'm not joking. You have to kind of add a little bit of a word onto the end of that. I found a dragonette, which is a fish, but it's also a dragon. It is. Well, I live in a world where dragons don't exist, because they do, and I found a mini one in fish form the other day, and I've never found that on the beach before. Absolutely never ever seen a dragonette on this beach before. I'd never seen one that colour. It was beautiful pink, and just goes to show that when I'm saying that we're struggling and finding stuff at winter is difficult, and it is difficult, like found some fish carcasses. Difficult to find stuff in winter. Still go out and still look, because you find loads of stuff. You find the weird fish skeletons. You can find, I found this skate the other day, I'll put that in. It is a very, very dead, smelly, but really pretty thornback ray. Stunk, absolutely stunk to high heaven. Found that on the beach, still quite a cool find, even though poor thing was dead. So here is the lovely dragonette. A lot of them. Right, these are the oyster reefs. I reckon, well hopefully we've got at least 10-20 minutes to explore, so let's go do that. Let's get hopefully some great underwater footage of some stuff, and because that'll be easier to film in these, and then I will explain the mysterious bullet. that was just fantastic. I mean, when you first go rock pooling, or like the first time rock pooling, well, when I first went in this rock pool, I mean, it's pretty big, and like, you just see these little fish dart away, and you know they're there, but you just think, there's no way. And it's being winter as well, there's fewer fish around, there's fewer species around. They're extra cautious because any predator that comes along is just gonna, you know, there's less of them, it's more likely that it's gonna be eaten. So they're really cautious and really jumpy. And I just found a rock and thought I'd turn it over, and I saw some little shrimps, and I thought, okay, I know shrimps are usually more curious than fish. If I just wait here a bit longer, maybe the shrimps will come back. And the shrimps came back, and they are gorgeous and also incredibly camouflaged. Like, camouflaged to the point at which the camera is struggling to pick them up. I was struggling to get them to focus because there's nothing to focus on. They are basically see-through apart from two little dots as eyes. And so that was really fun. But as I started filming, and it was taking long to try and, you know, film these shrimp because I was having to get it to focus longer, I started seeing these little fish come back in, and then they dart away when I tried to film them. I was like, okay. And I waited and waited, and then they came right under where the camera was, so we didn't have to move. I just moved the camera slowly to where it was, and I'm filming them from like behind my wellies in all of these weird yoga positions, but I'm getting to film them and up close, and they are just gorgeous fish. The sand gobies there, and the little tiny, like, I don't know what they are in squid, they're like chromatophores, but like little tiny cells of colour and dots, and they are gorgeous. And I just love that about rock pooling. I love that there is that connection there. You do feel a connection with that animal because it starts to trust you, and you think, oh my god, I'm a big massive scary human, and yes, I'm not eating you, so you kind of, you know, there is reason for you to trust me, but it doesn't seem like there is. They shouldn't come up, they shouldn't be curious, because well, I'm useless at catching fish, but you know what I mean, like, I'm a big scary potential predator, and they're just so trusting. And it's that few minutes you get to experience their lives, and they let you watch their lives, they let you watch them swim around and interact with each other, and these little shrimps look like they're in a little family. And it's just stuff like that that I love about rock pooling. That, again, I will say it again, for the price of a pair of wellies, you get to live and experience sea creatures' lives for a tiny part. And for me, there is just nothing more wonderful for the soul. It is absolutely fantastic. I love it so much. But I will now go and explain this whole mystery bullet thing. And I'm being serious, it genuinely is a real bullet. So I'll explain that now. Okay, so this really is a bullet, and it is so let me explain where we are. So this is the Isle of Sheppey, and if you look on a map, the Isle of Sheppey is right in the Thames Estuary. So the part of England where the Thames kind of comes out of London and starts to loop round. The Isle of Sheppey is right at the end of that, this little tiny island just before the end. And because of that, the Isle of Sheppey has a ton of history. I mean, I could literally make videos upon videos about the weirdness of this place that I grew up. Part of the history that isn't weird, there are a lot of weird bits of history on the Isle of Sheppey, is that because of its proximity to London and the fact that it's right at the Thames Estuary, the ramifications of that during the World Wars was that there was a lot of World War activity here, or at least preparation for activity. So there are, which I will do a video on actually, because I've studied these, there are things like wrecks that go out to stop submarines. There are, further down, you can see that these are the docks, and you can see the Thames. So this is the Thames Estuary, that way. Over here is the Thames, kind of goes that way. The River Medway curves round where that thing is. That over there is Essex, so that's the other side of the estuary, and then that goes out into the sea. So I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can see. Let's see if you can see. If we zoom right in, here are giant guns. Those are like these giant gun towers, which have actually gone past in a boat, and they're very impressive. That sit in the middle of the estuary to try and, you know, shoot down any ships or submarines that come through the estuary. They're left over from the World Wars. And all the way along this bit of coast, were firing ranges ready for planes or ships or whatever they needed, all the way from like giant big shooting shells to firing ranges and firing target practices that would shoot bullets. And because of that, there are a lot of, well, not a lot, this is probably the first time I found one just lying around, but I found ones before, like if you're digging up stuff, where you can find bullets. And they're not, you know, recent bullets, they're bullets from probably like the First World War, when most of the firing ranges were here, and potentially the Second World War. And it's a part of the history that, you know, is important to remember for the UK, and it's a part of the history that is important for the Isle of Sheppey because of where it was situated and, you know, its involvement in kind of preparing to try and protect stuff from the war. And that's just something that I haven't experienced in other places when I've gone rockpooling or done stuff, because I've been in, just because the island is so steeped in that defensive history. Yeah, an unexpected twist to the tale, but hey, the things you find on the coast, you don't have to always find marine creatures, and an interesting, at least it is an interesting piece of history, and a reminder of some important things. So, well, I'm just jumping in here before I end the video because I'm just walking back. So this is technically me in the future, and only about 10 minutes in the future, walking back, and I'm just listening to the lovely sound of the waves, of course, but I'm looking down, trying to find stuff, and I find this, look! Literally just popped up, found this. Okay, it might not look very impressive, but it will be impressive when I tell you what it is. This is a giant shark's tooth. A giant shark's tooth! A fossilised shark's tooth from sharks millions of years ago. So this bit is like where the gum would be, and then this is the actual tooth, which seems to be not very pointy. So I don't know whether it was pointy and then it's just been ground down, or if it was just a blunt tooth, but like, look at the size of it. It's incredible. So I found shark's teeth here before and had a video, and I've drawn a shark, so I linked up to that. But again, weird stuff on the Isle of Sheppey. You can find loads of stuff from bullets, which are world wars, you know, not so long ago, compared to a giant fossilised millions of years ago shark's tooth. So if you want to find out more about finding shark's teeth, then let me know. I'll do a video about that. But apparently today, you just need to walk along the beach and look down. So, what a weird vlog this has been. From like bullets to fossilised shark's teeth to not finding very much, to then finding a dragonette, to not being able to video fish, to then them coming up and getting really nice videos of oyster reef fish, and also having to film it across days because I can't. It's, oh, I mean, how could you ever be bored of this place? How do you ever be bored of the beach when 1 minute you're finding bullets, the next minute you're finding fossilised shark's teeth, the next minute you're finding fish? Like, what? So, that was this very hodgepodge, stuck together vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you I suppose enjoyed finding a bullet. It's a bit different. We've not had that on the channel before. There are lots of bits of history on the Isle of Sheppey that I would love to share with you, so if you are interested in maybe potentially some videos not entirely about the history of stuff, but like if you want to know a bit more about maybe rock pooling in weirder places because it would be a sunken ship from the World War, let me know, because that can be arranged. I might do it anyway. But please comment below, let me know if this is interesting to you. Yeah, I hope you have a fantastic week, everyone. I will see you next week. Bye.